Hi everyone, I promised to film a video comparing Billy Shovel's 4 books, and it's been a super busy week and I haven't had a chance to film that. So this is going to be instead of her video, but don't worry, I have done the researched and looked into her original watercolor palette used in the first book and how it has changed throughout, and yeah, so a few interesting things there. So that I should be able to film it either Monday or Tuesday latest. Now today I thought I'll do something which is quite easy to film and won't take that much time, hopefully, and it should be fun. So anyways, this is my swatch book and I started it probably last year, and it was interesting for me to have one sketchbook that I dedicate to swatches, and whenever I need to grab a certain color, for example if I'm looking at swatching teals or turquoise or whatever color, then I can go through my book and pick those colors out because I have everything there. And so I thought it would be interesting for you to see that today, what it looks like and what watercolors I have in my collection. So this is a Khadi Papers 210 GSM and it says smooth. Now it's a I think 100% recycled paper from India, and I absolutely love these sketchbooks. They the watercolor looks very beautiful, and although it says smooth, it is an equivalent to actually a rough watercolor paper. Also it says 210 GSM, but I would say it's very similar to a 300 GSM watercolor paper, because possibly also how the paper was pressed in layers or something like that, but it's very, very satisfying. So let's start. So this is my first page of swatches, and this is the Prima Watercolor Confections, the Classics set, and I love how you can see the granulation very well on this paper, and the colors are also very vibrant, so it's a great paper to use as a sketchbook as well. So I have actually a few of those, so it looks very, very, very beautiful, even a student grade watercolor. Next one is the same sort of type of watercolor, Prima Watercolor Confection set, and this is the Tropicals. Did I say the first one was the Classics? So this is the Classics 12 color, and then this is the Tropics 12 color. That's the teal that I have swatched for you in the previous video. And then we have the Dalerone Watercolor Aquafine Pocket Set of 12 colors. This is also student grade, and this is, in fact, let me just grab it. I have shown you this palette in action a couple of videos ago, and this is my first ever palette, so it's quite precious to me. It's the first palette that I've ever purchased when studying art at college. Memory, but I do like to use it as well. I particularly love the sap green. It's my favorite color in that palette. Very, very pretty. Now here, I don't think I'll be able to get it in the so I'll show you into pages. So here is my Nevskaya palette, which is the White Nights, St. Petersburg White Nights palette, and this was the original 24 colors, which is what it looked like before I started taking colors out and rearranging them and adding new colors, and later actually taking the insert of the palette out and you know, filling them up as much as I could. And these are the new colors that I then added. As you can see, incredibly vibrant, very beautiful. Most of them are transparent. I love their oranges and their pinks and their turquoises, greens, actually everything. I love them. Very, very pretty colors. One thing I'm not too fond of is the yellow ochre actually, and rose sienna. I find them quite wishy-washy, so the neutrals I'm not too keen on, but these sort of browns are quite nice and vibrant as well. Next one is the Tacky Gansai Tambi watercolor set of the 36, and very vibrant as well, and they do behave very different, however, to regular watercolor. And you can see that in my turquoise video, where I'm swatching this turquoise green, and no, sorry, was it turquoise green? No, it was the cobalt blue, this color right here. It's got some metallics in there as well. I personally prefer these golds because they're a lot more intense compared to, just go zoom in, so compared to these colors you can see. And then we have these ones are just Durand watercolor pencil set, which I'm not too keen on because I don't tend to love using pencils, although it's something I want to embrace maybe in the future. But it obviously, you know, is quite pastel compared to the other swatches we just saw. This is the Durand Inktense watercolorable ink pencils, and I've got the big one, the 72 colors. Now I was a little bit surprised to see how muted these colors came out on these swatches, because I used to be absolutely obsessed with these pencils, and I used them in my fashion illustrations a lot, and they would give me this really great, vibrant, very sort of you know, dense color. And it doesn't seem to be the same case. The paper that I used them on was the Winsor & Newton cold pressed paper, so maybe that made a difference. So here are all the swatches. They have a great range of the greys as well. Now this is Faber-Castell Mix and Match 12 gelatos. That's something I saw one of the YouTubers use in her mixed media scrapbooking processes, and she used them quite a lot and it looked really fun. But when I got them, to be honest with you, I didn't use them much, and I can't really do something with them that I would be pleased with. Now these were fun also for mixed media. This is the Heidi Swapp Color Shine mini collections of the 3 packs. So these are actually really beautiful because they have a shimmer to them, and I attempted to use them as watercolors as well, but mainly they're great for sort of accents and that type of thing. But you do need to be careful with them, because if you pack it on, they never properly sort of dry, they become sticky, so you need to make sure you either wash it out or use it quite thinly. And you can see it has printed on this other page. So if it would have been a journal spread, then it would be quite messy, which is something I don't like. Here we have the Daniel Smith. So these are my Daniel Smith watercolors. I buy them as a 5mm tube generally, and they're super vibrant, beautiful colors. On this page there are a few more, quite granulating it seems on this paper. Then we have the Majella Mission Gold colors, and this is the watercolors. This is the 36 7mm tube set, and here are the bigger swatches. It's the same thing on both sides, but the other side has some like pigment information and all of that, which is looking a bit messy. I don't know why I decided to do it here, but I did. They're basically one of the brightest watercolors that I know, and it's great in most cases, but you have to be wary of the fact that it might look unnatural depending on what you're going to paint, but they look beautiful. I love them. Schminke. Now this was a funny one. I bought this Schminke Academy 24 half pan set by mistake. I was thinking I was buying the real deal, aka horrid, but yeah, I got this one instead, and I was sort of painting and painting for a few days and thinking, what is happening? It's just not as beautiful as I expected it to be. And then thanks to a friend who pointed out, by the way, you're using the student grade, I was like, oh my gosh. and then I went and bought the horrid, but I'll show you in a bit. So this is the DrPH Martin's Hydros watercolor set of the 12 colors that I have, and this is the set 1. And here is a sub green that I added. I absolutely love the sub green. Now this is the watercolors that they come in a plastic bottle with a pipette, and they are light fast. So the Hydros range is light fast, but later on you'll see the radiant swatches, and those are non-light fast, so you need to know that. But me personally, I prefer the radiant because they're a lot more transparent and a lot more vibrant, so it depends what you are using for. I find that the Hydros line is a lot more looking like watercolor on paper rather than the radiant. So here is the Schminke horrid. Finally, after a while, I recovered and recovered from the shock of needing to buy another palette. But yeah, so this was the Schminke horrid 36 plus 12, so it had 36 half pans and 12 empty spaces for half pans, and that's what it looked like, the original set. And then I added 12. This is the DrPH Martin's Radiant Concentrated Watercolor that I mentioned to you, and this is the set A, and it's got 14 colors in there. And you can see, if I just quickly compare, so this looks a lot more like watercolor, doesn't it? The way it moves and flows, but they're not transparent. I find most of them have an element of opacity to them, which is a big thing for me, as you know. And so these are fully transparent. There is just no way of describing it. I find my saddle brown slightly funny, but having said that, I'm thinking maybe it still had a little bit of juniper green, because it seems to have this separation right here. It might have been that the brush still had a little bit of that color in there. So they're beautiful, but very unnatural, sort of very in your face, which is great for some elements. And then I wanted some more pinks, and I purchased these separately. I wanted a pastel pink, like a very pale pink, that would be pretty. And I don't know, there's something about this pink that I wish it was a different hue. But yeah, this is a very pretty tropic pink. I would recommend this color. The warm pink is not really my thing. So that's that. And then we have our Senneliers. So that's the Botanical Watercolor set by Billy Showell, and it's the 12 color set, so it's got 12 tubes in there. Let me just quickly grab something here and compare it to... Well, first of all, Majella is always bright, so if I flip to here you can see doesn't have that brightness. But I wanted to compare it to Невская Палитра, which I try to find. Yeah, so here is the Невская Палитра, and I wanted you to see this vibrancy of it compared to... So I hope you can see the difference. Again, it really depends what you need this for. These two colors, to me, I don't really like them. This yellow deep, it's actually great for mixing greens. It works really well on its own. I don't like it. The Sennelier red I have a major issue with because it's just completely opaque for me. And I have done the tests, so if you want to see that. and also mixing this color, it just kind of kills other colors for me if I mix it, so I don't really like it. Yeah, I do use this watercolor set. It's not one of my favorite watercolors to use, say for example if I just want to paint something fun and sort of quick and pretty and vibrant. I would not reach out for these watercolors, purely because they are not as vibrant for me as the others, and they also need glazing. So for you to get to a very vibrant stage with Sandelier, you have to do a lot of glazes, which is not something I want to do on a daily basis, you know. But these are fantastic for botanical art, which is what they're designed for, so I have no complaints there. Really like them. With all my botanical watercolor illustrations, apart from one, I have used Sandelier, so I feel quite comfortable working with them because they're quite predictable, so you know what you're doing. And finally, we've got Core High Chroma set of 6 watercolor tubes, and these so these 6 are the ones from the set, and here are the 4 that I have purchased. Well, I've purchased these 3 separately, and the cobalt teal came. I purchased it on Jackson's Art, and the cobalt teal came as a complementary kind of bonus color, so that was great because it's actually quite expensive. I think it's a series 4. I absolutely love the quinacridone red and quinacridone crimson, absolutely stunning. Not sure why I got the permanent alizarin crimson, it's just not as vibrant as this one, but I'm sure I'll find a use for that. So that is it, that's all I have, and I have actually I'm halfway through, so I still have quite a bit of pages, and for now I'm happy with what I have. And I think this year I want to get to know Winsor and Newton, because I only have 3 watercolor tubes so far, and you know, maybe Graham at some point, if I can get my hands on it. I would love to try it as well, but it's quite hard to get here in UK. So that is it. I can see it's not that short of a video, but I hope it's fun nonetheless, and let me know which watercolor brands are your favorites and why. Thanks for watching, and see you soon. Have a lovely weekend.